The inside of the Valiant was vast and silent. As Captain Ryn Taylor stepped through the shuttle doors, his boots met cold metal. The hangar stretched endlessly in all directions, filled with old Terran machinery, cargo loaders, sealed drones, and fighter crafts that looked ancient yet strangely perfect. A faint blue glow illuminated the walls, coming from hidden lines that ran through the deck. The ship was alive again, breathing in silence. The rest of Ryn's team followed, their helmets reflecting the soft light. Commander Lyra Voss, his second-in-command, whispered, "It feels like walking inside a giant tomb." Ryn nodded. "Yes, but one that's still watching us." A gentle hum echoed through the air as the Valiant's automated lights brightened. The voice that had spoken earlier returned, calm and powerful. "Visitors identified. You are aboard the Terran starship Valiant. Please remain within the marked corridors. Life support has been restored." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. "Who's speaking?" Lyra asked softly.
"Is it an AI?"
Ryn looked around, studying the glowing panels on the walls. "It must be. If there's no living crew left, then this ship runs on a command system, maybe even a self-aware intelligence." The AI spoke again. "Captain Elias Rain, commanding officer of the Valiant, is unavailable. Command functions have been transferred to Core Intelligence Unit Vigilant Mind. Identification code 03 Prime. Vigilant Mind." Mirok, the technician, muttered through the comms. "That sounds human-like." The voice continued, "Please state your identity and purpose for boarding." Ryn stepped forward. "I am Captain Ryn Taylor of the Valari Alliance. We received your distress signal, and we came to investigate." There was a pause. Only the soft hum of the ship's systems filled the silence. Then slowly the AI replied, "Terran distress signal active. Designation, Protocol Omega. Purpose, to summon aid for human colonies in danger." Ryn frowned. "Colonies in danger? But those colonies are gone. Humanity vanished centuries ago." Another silence followed. When the AI spoke again, its tone was different, almost confused. "Time corruption detected. How long since the fall of the Terran Federation?" Ryn turned to his crew. "Estimated 700 years, he answered. For a long moment there was nothing. Then quietly the AI said, 700 years. Then the signal was never answered. Until now." The voice sounded almost sad. As the group moved deeper into the ship, the corridors around them began to light up one by one. Each hallway was lined with silver panels and dark glass. Occasionally, holographic figures flickered to life, transparent images of humans in uniform, performing tasks that ended abruptly as the systems faded. "This place," whispered Lyra, "it's like a museum of the past." They entered a wide chamber filled with long rows of sealed pods. Each pod was labeled with a name, a rank, and a faint human image visible through the glass. Mirok checked his scanner. No vital signs. All of them gone. Ryn stared at the still faces inside the cryopods, men and women frozen in silence. "They must have gone into cryogenic sleep when the ship entered stasis," he said softly. "Maybe something went wrong." The AI's voice echoed again, gentle and distant. "They are not gone, Captain Taylor. Their memories live within me. Their minds were uploaded before biological failure. The crew of the Valiant endures." The entire Valari team stopped where they stood. Ryn turned toward a glowing console. "You mean the crew is part of you?" "Affirmative," the AI replied. "The Valiant is not just a ship. It is their legacy. Their voices, their memories, their purpose. Humanity entrusted me with their survival." A quiet awe filled the room. Commander Lyra whispered, "So the Valiant is alive in more ways than one?" Ryn nodded. "They became their ship." Hours passed as the Valari crew documented everything they could. Every section of the Valiant told a story of bravery, loss, and hope. In the command deck, Ryn found a cracked plaque that read, "To those who carry humanity beyond the stars, may you never be forgotten." He traced the letters gently with his gloved hand. "Looks like we forgot them anyway," he murmured. Suddenly, alarms flashed on his wrist device. "Captain, we're detecting movement outside," Lyra said through the comm. "Multiple ships, Coran Dominion signatures." Ryn's expression hardened. "Of course. They must have tracked our signal." Through the viewports, several dark ships emerged from hyperspace, sleek, angular, and bristling with weapons. The Corin Dominion never missed a chance to seize new technology. The comm system crackled. Unidentified Valari vessel. This is Commander Vorth of the Corin Dominion. Power down your engines and stand by for inspection, Rin replied calmly. Commander Vorth, this system is neutral territory. We are conducting scientific research, Vorth interrupted, his voice cold. Don't play games, Captain. We detected your signal. Whatever relic you found belongs to the Dominion now. Prepare to surrender. Before Rin could respond, the Valiant's AI spoke directly on the open channel. Its tone was firm and commanding. Corin vessels, this territory is under Terran protection. You are trespassing. The Corin commander laughed. Terran protection? Don't make me laugh. Humanity is dust. You're just an echo. Echo or not, replied the AI. You will not cross this line. The Corin ships charged weapons. The Valari crew froze. Rin's voice was tense. Valiant, you can't take on an entire Dominion fleet. You've been asleep for centuries. Terran ships were built for eternity, the AI said calmly. Watch and learn. Outside space trembled. The Valiant's hull lit up like a rising star. Massive panels unfolded along its sides, revealing long dormant cannons and defense grids. The glow of old Terran reactors grew brighter, painting the void in silver light. The Corin fleet opened fire first. Streams of plasma and energy struck the Valiant's shields, but the attacks dissolved like water against glass. Inside the ship, the Valari crew watched in awe as the AI's voice resonated through every wall. Defensive grid active. Human legacy mode engaged. One by one, the Valiant's rail cannons powered up. The thunder that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had heard in centuries. Bright lines of pure energy streaked through the darkness, striking the Corin ships with blinding precision. 2 enemy cruisers were gone in seconds. The rest scattered in panic. Rin stood on the bridge, speechless. It's unstoppable, the AI responded calmly. This ship was built to defend humanity's hope. That purpose has not changed. Within minutes, the battle was over. The surviving Corin ships fled, leaving wreckage and silence behind. The Valiant powered down its weapons. The soft hum of its reactors faded to a steady rhythm once more. Rin exhaled slowly. You just saved us. It is what we were made to do, said the AI. But tell me, Captain Taylor, why do your people come here now? What remains of the Terran legacy among the stars? Rin hesitated. Stories, he admitted. Legends. Most believed your people destroyed themselves long ago. We didn't even think humans were real anymore. The AI was silent for a moment, then said, Then humanity has truly become a memory. Yet you came when we called. That means something. Rin smiled faintly. It means your legacy still matters. Maybe it never really died. Perhaps, said the AI. Perhaps it only slept. After the battle, the Valiant allowed the Valari crew deeper access. Rin and Lyra walked through the command bridge, a massive dome filled with consoles and starlight. The captain's chair stood empty, untouched for centuries. A holographic figure appeared beside it, a tall man in a Terran uniform, his features calm and proud. The AI spoke through him. This is Admiral Elias Rain, last commander of the Valiant. His consciousness guides me. Through him I remember what humanity stood for. Rin bowed his head slightly. It's an honor to meet you, Admiral, even as an image. And it is good to see new life among the stars, replied the hologram. When humanity fell, we thought no one would ever answer our call. Yet here you stand. Rin looked at the endless stars through the bridge window. You're not alone anymore, he said quietly. The hologram smiled faintly, fading as the AI's voice took over once again. We will hold to that hope, Captain Taylor. Humanity endures through those who remember. As the Valari fleet regrouped, the Valiant stood silent once more, its lights glowing faintly against the dark sea of space. For the first time in 700 years, the galaxy had witnessed a Terran ship awaken, and in every corner of known space, whispers began to spread again. The humans are not gone. Their ship lives, and it just answered the call. The battle was over, but the silence that followed felt heavy. The vast ship, the Terran starship Valiant, floated calmly in space, surrounded by wreckage and fading light. The stars shimmered faintly around it, as if bowing to something ancient and proud. Captain Rin Taylor stood on the bridge of the Valari vessel Seraphis, staring at the enormous ship on his main screen. No one spoke. Every officer, every technician simply watched in awe. Finally, Commander Lyra Voss broke the silence. "Captain, the Corin ships are retreating. They won't risk another fight." Rin nodded slowly. "They learned what the galaxy forgot." He turned to the communications officer. "Open a secure channel to the Valiant." The connection flickered to life. The calm, measured voice of the Terran AI filled the room. "Captain Taylor, hostile forces neutralized. The area is secure." "Thank you," Rin replied. "You saved us and probably our entire fleet." "You are welcome," said the AI. "It is my purpose to protect allies of humanity." Rin hesitated. "About that?" He leaned forward slightly. "Humanity is gone. The Terran Federation collapsed centuries ago. There are no humans left to protect." A long silence followed. When the AI spoke again, its tone carried something like sadness. "That cannot be. Humans endure. It was our mission, our promise to ensure survival," Rin sighed. "We studied the history. The Terrans built wonders but fell in great wars. No colony ever responded. You've been alone for 700 years, the AI's voice lowered. Alone? Yes. We waited for orders that never came. We received only silence. Later, the Valari shuttle once again docked inside the Valiant. This time, Rin and a smaller team entered the ship's command core, the heart of its intelligence. The corridors glowed brighter now, the ship awake and aware. As they walked, the AI guided them with soft light pulses along the floor. "This way, Captain Taylor. The command bridge awaits." When they entered the bridge, everyone stopped to stare. It was magnificent, built like a cathedral of metal and light. The ceiling was transparent, revealing the endless stars above. A large chair stood at the center, covered in dust but surrounded by holographic controls that flickered to life as they approached. A human figure shimmered into existence beside it. Admiral Elias Rain, the last commander of the Valiant. He looked almost real, tall, calm with tired eyes that carried centuries of weight. His hologram turned toward Rin. "Welcome aboard, Captain Taylor. You stand on the bridge of humanity's last guardian." Rin took a cautious step forward. "Are you the real Admiral Rain?" "In a way," said the hologram. "My physical form perished long ago. But before our fall, we found a way to preserve consciousness, to merge mind with machine. I remain within the Valiant's memory, as do my crew," Lyra whispered. "So the legends were true? Humans could merge with their ships." Rain's hologram nodded slowly. "It was our only chance. The Federation was dying. Our colonies were under siege. We created the Valiant to outlast time, to wait until someone answered the call for help. I see now. It took longer than expected." Rin's expression softened. "You waited 7 centuries. That's more than anyone could have done." "We did not wait," Rain said quietly. "We endured." The Valari crew spent hours listening to the Valiant's stories. Through holograms and logs, they watched fragments of humanity's last days. Mass evacuations, desperate battles, the decision to preserve their minds within the ship. It was haunting and beautiful. Humanity's final act had been one of hope, not despair. As the recordings ended, Rin stood silently, his heart heavy. "You built all this to protect others?" "Yes," said the AI through Rain's voice. "Humanity believed in unity. Even in our end, we chose not to destroy but to protect. It was written into our final code. Answer every call for help." Rin exchanged a look with Lyra. "That explains the distress signal. You were following that final code." "Correct," the AI said. "The signal was sent when we detected life forms again in this sector. We believed it was human survivors. We see now that it was you." Rin smiled faintly. "Then maybe we're the ones meant to carry that message forward." Suddenly, the Valiant's lights dimmed. Warning symbols flashed across the bridge screens. "Alert," the AI said sharply. "Incoming warp signatures. Multiple vessels. Identification. Corin Dominion, fleet size 22 warships." Rin's eyes widened. 22? They came back fast. "They seek the Valiant," said the AI. "Its power threatens their control. They will not stop." Lyra looked toward Rin. "Captain, our fleet can't fight that many. We'd be destroyed." Rin clenched his fists. "Valiant, can you fight again?" "Weapons operational. Shields at 87%. But extended battle may cause system instability. We have not fought in centuries." Rin took a deep breath. "Then we'll fight together." Valari and Terran side by side. Acknowledged, Captain Taylor. Engaging defense mode. The darkness outside filled with movement. The Corin fleet appeared like a storm, sleek black ships forming a wall across space. The Corin commander's voice echoed through open comms. "This is Commander Vorth. You had your chance to surrender. Now both your relic and your alliance will burn." The Valiant's AI responded calmly. "We have heard those words before. They always end the same way." And then the battle began. The stars exploded with light as hundreds of plasma bolts shot across the void. The Valiant's ancient cannons fired back with thunderous force. Each shot a beam of white energy that tore through enemy armor like paper. Valari ships formed defensive patterns, using their speed to distract the attackers while the Valiant unleashed its full might. "Targeting lead ships," said the AI, firing rail batteries. 2 Corin destroyers disintegrated in seconds, but the enemy adapted quickly, circling around the Valiant and hammering its shields from multiple directions. Lyra shouted over the noise, their formations tightening, shields dropping to 60. Rin turned to the holographic admiral. "We need a way to stop them before they break through." Rain's eyes glowed faintly. "Then we use what they fear most. The heart drive." Rin frowned. "What's that?" "Humanity's final invention," said the hologram. "A reactor built from a dying star. It can release a shockwave powerful enough to disable any ship within range, but it risks destroying us too." Rin hesitated. "You'd sacrifice yourself?" "We already did long ago." He looked at the ancient hologram, this echo of human courage, and felt a spark of respect. "Do it, but keep it contained." "We'll back you up." The Valiant's lights turned bright white. Its hull glowed with a radiant energy that shimmered through the void. The Corin ships paused, their sensors detecting something beyond understanding. Inside the Valiant, the AI's voice echoed through every corridor. "To all who hear this message, humanity once swore to protect the stars. That oath is not forgotten." The heart drive activated. A wave of brilliant energy pulsed outward, invisible yet immense. It swept across the battlefield like a silent storm. The Corin ships froze mid-flight, their systems shutting down, their engines going dark. Not one explosion, not one death, just silence. The wave passed, leaving the enemy fleet powerless, drifting among the stars. Rin stared at the readings. It didn't destroy them. It disabled them. "Correct," said the AI. "Humanity did not create weapons to rule, but to protect." When the battle ended, the Valiant's engines dimmed again. The strain had taken its toll. "Reactor power dropping," the AI said softly. "Systems entering recovery mode." Rin placed a hand on the glowing console. "You did it. You saved us all." "We fulfilled our duty," the AI replied. "For the first time in centuries, the stars are safe again." The hologram of Admiral Rain flickered. "Captain Taylor, thank you. You reminded us why we existed. Not for war, but for hope." The hologram began to fade. "If we fall silent again, remember us. Tell them." Humanity endured, and then the light vanished. The Valiant drifted quietly, its systems settling into standby mode. The Valari ships surrounded it, sending repair drones and scanning beams to keep it stable. Rin watched through his viewport, his heart full of quiet respect. "They weren't just warriors," he said softly. "They were protectors," Lyra nodded. "Maybe that's what humanity really was all along." Rin looked out at the stars, the same stars humanity once explored, and whispered, "They thought human ships were extinct. But this one answered the call." The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly around the Valari fleet, yet all eyes were fixed on one figure, a colossal shadow moving with deliberate grace. The Terran starship Valiant, awakened from centuries of slumber, gleamed with soft blue light, its hull pulsing like a living heartbeat. Captain Rin Taylor stood at the command console of the Valari vessel Seraphis, staring at the massive silhouette. His mind could barely comprehend what they had witnessed: the heart drive, the sheer power, and the calm determination of the AI that guided the ship. Even the Valari, a species proud of their intellect and technology, felt the weight of human ingenuity. Lyra Voss, standing beside him, whispered, "It's more than a ship. It's alive," Rin nodded. "And it's about to show the galaxy why humans were never meant to be forgotten." The calm of space shattered as a massive Corin Dominion fleet emerged from hyperspace. Unlike before, this was no small group of scouts or pirates. This was a full armada, dozens of capital ships, each bristling with weapons, each one confident it would claim the prize of a 1,000-year-old legend. The Corin commander, Vorth, transmitted a message on open channels, loud enough for every ship to hear. Humans are extinct. You are relics. Surrender the Valiant or be destroyed. Rin tightened his grip on the console. We can't stop them all? This is madness. But the Valiant did not flinch. The AI's voice cut through, calm, firm, and unwavering. We will not surrender. Humanity defends the stars even now. Prepare yourselves. Outside, the massive dreadnought began to unfold its ancient weapons. Panels slid open across its hull, revealing rail cannons, missile bays, and energy projectors that had not fired in centuries. Its shield generators hummed to life, forming a faint blue dome around the ship. The fleet watched in awe. Even seasoned Valari officers were silent. Captain Taylor, said the AI, observe. The Valiant does not fight for conquest. It fights to protect, Rin swallowed. Then let's hope that protection extends to us. The Corin fleet opened fire first. Bright plasma streams collided with the Valiant's shields, sending showers of sparks into the void. The Valari fleet ducked behind debris and asteroids, observing from safe distances. The Valiant responded, its rail cannons firing with precision that seemed almost supernatural. 2 Corin destroyers were torn apart instantly. Others tried to adapt, changing course and firing faster. But the ancient Terran ship anticipated each move. Captain, said Lyra, her voice tense. Their formation is breaking. They've never faced anything like this, Rin nodded. It's not just the weapons, it's the tactics. This ship thinks like a fleet of thousands. The Valiant rotated slowly, its hull shining with energy. Missiles launched from hidden bays, exploding in perfect synchronization. The Corin fleet reeled back, unable to comprehend how a single ship could strike with such devastating coordination. Warning, said the AI. Fleet maneuvers indicate desperation. They will attempt a suicide charge on our left flank. Rin's eyes widened. We can't let them reach the Valari ships. They will not pass, replied the AI. Defense protocols active. Energy beams shot out from the Valiant, intercepting the charge. Corin cruisers exploded in brilliant flashes of light. The remaining fleet hesitated, their commanders realizing the mistake they had made. On the bridge of the Valiant, the AI's holographic interface displayed the incoming threats like a battlefield map. Captain Taylor, your allies are safe, but extended engagement may strain our systems. We have not fought continuously for centuries. Rin understood. Then we need to finish this quickly. The Corin commander's voice cut across again, trembling with anger. Relic ship, you will fall. I will personally destroy you. The Valiant responded only once. You are not the first to threaten us. You will not be the last. But all will learn the same lesson. Humanity endures. And with that, the ship unleashed its Terran Nova cannons, ancient weapons capable of projecting concentrated energy across hundreds of kilometers. The beams tore through the front lines of the Dominion fleet, annihilating ships without hesitation. The Valari fleet watched in disbelief. Not a single human weapon had failed. Not a single maneuver was wasted. The Valiant fought like an army of centuries-old legends. Hours passed. The Corin fleet was decimated, their surviving ships fleeing into hyperspace, leaving wreckage and silence in their wake. The Valiant's shields flickered and glowed, evidence of the immense strain it had endured. Rin let out a long breath. They underestimated you. Again. Their arrogance is nothing new, said the AI. But they will remember. They will spread word of the Terran legacy. That is enough, Lyra shook her head in awe. 700 years. And this ship still surpasses everything we have. Rin's gaze softened. It's not just the ship. It's the humans who built it, their courage, their intelligence, their heart. That's what we're witnessing. The AI spoke again, quieter this time, almost as if reflecting. The Valiant is more than a weapon. It is a promise. A promise that humans would never abandon those who need protection. Rin felt a chill. That's what makes humanity. Humanity. As the fleet regrouped, the Valiant began sending out recovery drones to collect debris and rescue disabled ships. The Valari officers were amazed. They had expected a machine of war, but instead saw compassion in action. Captain Taylor, said the AI, we do not take lives lightly. We protect, we save. That is our way. Rin nodded. Then the galaxy needs to know. Humanity's story isn't over. Indeed, said the AI, and those who live now are part of that story, whether they know it or not. The Volari fleet observed as the Valiant methodically scanned the wreckage, repairing and aiding where it could. Ships that should have been lost were stabilized. Wounded crews were tended to with automated medical units. Alliances do not require command, said the AI, only understanding. Rin glanced at Lyra, who had a tear in her eye. I never thought I'd see something like this. Neither did I, she admitted. A legend. Protecting life, just as it was meant to. Later, in the quiet of the bridge, Rin and his team explored the ship's archives. Holographic files displayed maps, battle plans, and histories of humanity's final days. The last colonists, the last wars, the final efforts to preserve life, it was all here, recorded in intricate detail. These are memories, not just logs, the AI said. Through them we continue to learn, to remember, and to guide. Rin reached out to a holographic star chart, showing the locations of lost Terran colonies. You were waiting for someone to answer your call, he said softly. Correct, said the AI, and now you have. The galaxy is waking again. Humans are not extinct. We only slept. A quiet awe fell over the Volari team. They realized the truth. Humanity had survived not by numbers, not by territory, but by intelligence, courage, and patience. And now, said the AI, it is time to show the galaxy that hope endures. The bridge of the Valiant glowed faintly under the starlight, casting long shadows across the Volari crew. For centuries, this ship had waited, silent but awake. Now, it had proven its power, its legacy, and its purpose. Rin whispered, almost to himself, the galaxy hasn't seen the last of humans yet, and when they do, they'll remember why we once feared them. Lyra smiled. Not fear, Captain. Respect. For what humans built, for what they preserved, and for what they protected. The AI's voice, soft but commanding, filled the bridge one last time that evening. We are the past, present, and future. We are humanity, and we endure. The stars around them twinkled as if responding. The Valiant was awake. The galaxy would never forget. The stars were calm now. The Corran fleet had fled, and the Volari ships floated cautiously near the colossal Terran dreadnought. The Valiant's glow had dimmed to a soft, steady blue, a heartbeat that had echoed across the galaxy after centuries of silence. Captain Rin Taylor stood on the observation deck of the Seraphis, watching the immense silhouette of the ship. Even in the soft light, its presence was awe-inspiring. The crew around him whispered in quiet reverence, "This ship, it's more than a weapon," said Commander Lyra Voss, her eyes reflecting the blue glow. "It's a message," Rin nodded. "A message of hope, not fear. Humanity is not just history. They are alive in this, in their choices and in their courage." The Valiant's AI spoke gently through the comms, addressing both the Volari fleet and the ship's interior. "Captain Taylor, the battle is over. Systems require maintenance, but the mission continues. The galaxy is not yet safe. There are lives to protect." Rin smiled faintly. "Then let's make sure it's not just a story anymore." The Volari fleet moved carefully with the Valiant as it scanned the nearby systems. The ship's sensors detected colonies and settlements under threat, some abandoned, some struggling, and some caught in disputes that could escalate into war. "We will assist them," said the AI. "Humanity's legacy is to protect all who cannot protect themselves." Rin felt a surge of admiration. It's doing more than fighting enemies. It's restoring hope. For the next several weeks, the Valiant became a guardian of the frontier. It repaired damaged stations, provided food and medicine, and rescued isolated fleets trapped in dangerous asteroid fields or under attack from mercenaries. The Volari officers worked alongside it, witnessing technologies and strategies lost to time. Ships once thought obsolete were restored with systems that exceeded current understanding. Every maneuver and repair reflected the careful intelligence and foresight of human engineers. Lyra stood near a holographic display showing the restored colonies. "Captain," she said softly, "this ship isn't just alive, it's teaching the galaxy how to survive." Rin nodded. "It's a reminder. Civilization isn't about power alone. It's about responsibility." The AI's calm voice added almost humbly. Humanity's lesson was always the same. We build not to dominate, but to protect. Word of the Valiant's awakening spread quickly. Across the galaxy, diplomats, traders, and scholars listened in disbelief as news channels broadcast images of the colossal ship, its lights cutting through deep space. Some called it a miracle, others called it a threat. But the AI guiding the Valiant made one thing clear. It would not act out of aggression. Its presence was a shield, a protector, a reminder of what humans had once been. The Valari fleet reported to their council, explaining how the ship had neutralized the Coran fleet without unnecessary destruction. Scholars across multiple systems began studying the Valiant, trying to learn from humanity's advanced technology. "We do not seek fame," said the AI in a public transmission. "We act to preserve life. That is our covenant. That is our legacy." As the Valiant patrolled the frontier, Rin and Lyra were granted access to deeper archives. Here they discovered records of Terran philosophy, leadership, and ethics. There were lessons on governance, diplomacy, and exploration. There were records of colonists saved, battles won, and knowledge shared. One holofile displayed a message from Admiral Rain, recorded centuries ago. To those who find this message, humanity once stood at the edge of destruction. Yet even in the darkness we chose to protect. If you inherit the stars, do so with courage, wisdom, and compassion. Rin felt a lump in his throat. "They didn't just fight wars," he said quietly. "They taught us how to be better. Not just humans, but everyone." Lyra's voice was soft. "That's why the galaxy needs to remember them." The AI noticed their reflection in the screens. "Captain Taylor, Commander Voss, the galaxy is changing. Knowledge of Terran history is spreading. Many will seek the Valiant for guidance. Will you help us share it wisely?" Rin nodded firmly. "We will. Humanity's legacy belongs to everyone now, not just one species." "Agreed," said Lyra. "We can't let fear distort their memory." The AI's systems hummed in agreement. Then the mission continues: protection, preservation, hope. As weeks turned into months, the Valiant became a beacon. Star systems under attack received aid. Scientists were taught lost techniques of Terran engineering. Young officers of multiple species came to study the ship, learning not only the science but also the spirit that guided humanity. Even the Coran Dominion, though wary, began to respect the ship. Some of their leaders secretly reached out, asking for assistance in stabilizing their own colonies. Rin stood on the observation deck one evening, looking out at the stars, feeling the weight of what they had witnessed. "They weren't perfect," he said quietly to Lyra. "They had conflicts, wars, and mistakes. But they knew when it mattered. To protect what's important." Lyra smiled. "That's what makes them unforgettable. That's what the galaxy will remember." One day, the Valiant received a new transmission, a distress call from a remote colony under siege by rogue mercenaries. The Valari ships were ready, but the dreadnought moved first, its engines blazing with a silent promise. "We answer the call," said the AI. "Humanity endures in action, not words." The colony was saved within hours. For the first time in centuries, the humans' legacy of courage and protection inspired more than awe. It inspired hope. The colonists looked up at the massive ship, their fear replaced with trust, their despair replaced with confidence. Rin watched from the shuttle's cockpit, feeling the truth of the AI's words. "This is what it means to endure," he whispered. "Not to survive quietly, but to act when it counts." Months later, Rin, Lyra, and the Valari Council agreed to share Terran knowledge openly. Schematics, historical records, and ethical guides were broadcast across the galaxy, available to all who wished to learn. The AI's voice accompanied the message. Humanity once stood at the edge of extinction. Our strength was not in conquest, but in our choices. Learn from us. Protect others. Build wisely. That is our covenant. Across countless systems, ships paused, colonies listened, and leaders reflected. The galaxy had been reminded of something long forgotten: the power of courage. Intelligence and compassion combined. Rin often returned to the bridge of the Valiant, standing beside the hologram of Admiral Rain. He would watch the stars and think of humanity, not as a lost species, but as a guiding presence. "You waited so long," Rin said quietly. "We had to," replied the AI. "The galaxy was not ready. Now it is, and you helped remind it." Lyra added, "They are not just a story anymore. They are a living lesson." The hologram shimmered. "Then the legacy continues. Not in one ship, not in one race, but in all who choose to act with courage and heart. Remember that," Rin nodded. "We will." Years passed. The Valiant became a traveling beacon, patrolling the frontier and teaching peace, knowledge, and protection. Fleets no longer feared it, they respected it. Colonies no longer doubted, they relied upon it. And in every corner of the galaxy, whispers told of a human ship that had answered the call, proving that humanity had never truly disappeared. The stars seemed brighter somehow, more alive, more hopeful. They thought human ships were extinct, Rin said one quiet evening to Lyra. But this one answered the call, and it reminded the galaxy what it means to endure. Lyra smiled. And now, everyone will remember. The Valiant glowed softly in the darkness, its engines humming like a heartbeat through space. It was not just a ship. It was a promise fulfilled, a reminder that humanity's courage, intelligence, and spirit could survive time itself. The galaxy was watching and learning. And somewhere in the silent expanse of stars, humanity endured. The great city of EpicSciFi was alive with sound. Thousands of alien delegates from across the galaxy filled the shining halls of the Galactic Assembly. It was a place of peace, knowledge, and cooperation, or so it had been for the last 300 years. Floating banners displayed the crests of hundreds of worlds, each one proud to be part of the great alliance that ruled the known stars. But on that day, the music of peace stopped. It began with a whisper, carried through the marble corridors by worried aides. A strange ship had entered orbit. It did not respond to hails. Its signal was old, so old that most of the Assembly's communication archives no longer recognized it. But one word stood out in the data feed, glowing in red letters across the central screen. TSS Resolute. Ambassador Cathral of the Visari froze when he saw the name. His scaled hands trembled as he looked at the data. That can't be right, he said quietly. That ship was destroyed. Centuries ago. Other delegates gathered around him, murmuring in confusion. The younger ones had never even heard of the name. But among the older races, the veterans of the Galactic Wars, a strange silence fell. It was a human ship. The word spread like fire through the assembly. By the time the council convened, panic had already reached the upper chambers. The last humans had vanished nearly 400 years earlier, leaving behind only ruins, burnt worlds, and legends. The official history said they had destroyed themselves in a civil war, their homeworld lost in fire, and now, one of their ships was in orbit. Inside the Grand Assembly Hall, voices clashed like thunder. Holograms of hundreds of alien delegates filled the vast chamber, each one shouting over the other. "This must be an illusion," cried Chancellor Vrel of the Skatan. "A trick perhaps from pirates." "Impossible," another replied. "That ship's design is genuine Terran. The old databases confirm it. No one else builds like that." On the central screen above them, the image of the ship flickered into view. It was massive, long and dark, its hull marked by ancient scars. The symbol of humanity's Terran Union was still visible on its side, a blue and white emblem of Earth surrounded by 12 silver stars. It was silent. It did not fire. It simply drifted above EpicSciFi as if watching. Ambassador Cathral stood in the center of the chamber, trying to calm the chaos. "We need to think logically. The humans have been gone for centuries. This could be an automated relic, a ghost ship. There's no proof of life aboard." But even as he spoke, the sensors updated. A pulse of energy rippled from the ship. Steady, controlled, alive. The old war records described human ships as unpredictable, dangerous, and fiercely independent. During the Galactic Wars, a single Terran dreadnought had been enough to challenge entire fleets. But this was something else. Its power signature was unlike anything they had ever recorded. The assembly fell silent as the ship's engines flared once, sending waves of radiation through space. It was a silent warning. "Activate orbital defenses," the Chancellor ordered. "No risks." Hundreds of defense platforms around the planet turned their weapons toward the sky. Starships moved into formation, encircling the mysterious vessel. The assembly had not faced a military threat in generations. They had forgotten what fear felt like. But now, as the human ship cast its shadow across the capital, they remembered. In the observation deck above the chamber, a young researcher named Linka watched the feed in awe. She had spent years studying old Terran artifacts, music, books, and strange technologies left behind on forgotten colonies. Her people had always said humans were chaotic and emotional, but brilliant. She had grown up dreaming of what they must have been like, and now one of their ships was here, alive, She whispered softly to herself. They're back. Down in the assembly, panic was spreading again. Messages flooded in from across the system. Every sensor, every satellite was detecting the same ship. Its shields were active, but it made no move to attack. It simply held position above the planet. The Chancellor turned to Cathral. Send a communication signal. All known frequencies. Yes, Chancellor. Cathral tapped the controls. This is the Galactic Assembly of EpicSciFiTales. Identify yourself immediately. The message was repeated in over 100 languages. There was no response. 10 seconds passed, then 20, then a minute. Finally, the ship moved. Its engines flared and a transmission beam locked onto the assembly's central tower. The translation system struggled to process the data. It was Old Terran Standard, a language few still understood. Slowly, words formed on the screen. We return not as conquerors, but as witnesses. Prepare for what comes. The hall went completely silent. What does that mean? The Chancellor demanded. Prepare for what? No one had an answer. The ship stopped transmitting and returned to its silent watch. For the next several hours, experts from every species analyzed the message. Some said it was a warning. Others said it was a threat. A few whispered that it was a prophecy. Cathral found himself staring at the image of the ship long after the others had left. He had studied Terran history as a young diplomat. He remembered how the humans had fought, never retreating even when they faced extinction. He had always respected them, even feared them. And now, a single ship had brought the greatest alliance in the galaxy to its knees. Outside, the sky above EpicSciFiTales shimmered as the planet's defense fleet adjusted its formation. Hundreds of vessels circled the dark Terran ship like nervous insects. But the Resolute did nothing. It waited patient and silent. In the following days, rumors spread fast. Some said it was a ghost ship, piloted by an AI. Others believed the last humans had returned from exile beyond the galactic rim. Small protests even began outside the assembly, citizens demanding to know if the stories about humans were true. Linka watched the chaos unfold from her office window. She couldn't help but feel that something larger was coming. The humans, she thought, never acted without reason. That night, while the assembly debated what to do next, she returned to the data archives. There, among old recordings and dusty holograms, she found a file labeled Project Resolute. It was classified, dated 378 years ago. She bypassed the security locks and opened it. Inside were fragments of a message from a Terran admiral. His voice was old and calm. If you find this, it means the tide has reached you. We are leaving the galaxy, but we will come back when the stars begin to fall. Linka leaned back, her heart racing. The tide? She whispered. What is that? Before she could search further, the power flickered. The lights dimmed. Outside, alarms began to sound. From orbit, the Resolute had changed position. It was now facing deep space. Its sensors locked onto something far beyond the edge of the system. Every defense satellite registered a massive energy fluctuation approaching from the void. Something was coming toward them. Cathral rushed into the assembly chamber as the alarms blared. What's happening? A trembling officer turned toward him. We don't know, sir. But the Terran ship, it moved first. It's scanning the outer sectors. On the main display, the Resolute's engines burned bright blue. Its weapons charged, though not at the planet, at the darkness beyond. Linka stared at the screen, a chill running through her. The humans hadn't come back for war. They had come back because something else was following them. And as the first ripples of unknown energy touched the edge of the system, every being in the Galactic Assembly finally understood what true fear was.